You guys, Brad Kemp from Blue Nile Farm. Welcome to the channel. You know, probably 6 months ago, I finally got myself my first plasma cutter. And before I bought this, a lot of the research I did, they were talking about consumables and basically making sure you have dry, clean air and how important it is to take care of your plasma cutter. And it doesn't matter what brand you actually purchased. But I chose a prime weld plasma cutter, and it actually came with a water trap on the back here and a pressure regulator. And this is, I guess, for the newer versions. But, you know, from what I've read, you can't go wrong by having the cleanest and drier air possible. So I wanted to make sure that I have a good setup that I'm not going to affect the unit. In the meanwhile, I wound up doing more research and bought another tool and that requires clean, dry air. And I thought, what is the best thing to do? And because I live on a farm, everything's pretty mobile, and I don't work in a centralized location. So I did a little more research, and I developed a cart that is basically set up with filters that I can actually transport and move around and use it on multiple different types of tools, but specifically I did it for the plasma cutter. So let me show you the cart and I'll show you the rationale behind what I did. So I'm going to kind of take you through the process, but this plasma cart perfectly fits my prime weld, and it's an Eastwood cart. And what I wanted to do is have a cart that I could take anywhere on my farm and know that I can get clean, dry air. The downfall is, of course, you need 220 to run this thing for the most part, which I prefer to use. And but I still want clean, dry air, and I really want to keep it centralized from my other air compressors. So on my farm, I don't have, like a lot of guys do, have a setup where you have water traps in your barn to catch moisture. And if I did have it, I would still create a separate unit, and I'm going to explain why here in a little bit. But what I want to highlight today is this little cart here is perfect because it has an industrial style filter with the gauge on it, so I know exactly how much pressure is actually getting to my unit. I have a jumper line from this unit coming over here to a Motor Guard 30 filter, and then going back from the Motor Guard 30 filter goes all the way back up to the top here into my connection for my prime weld plasma cutter. And so with this unit set up here, I have basically 3 filters. I have one that's actually on the prime weld cart, and I have 2 on this unit. So I should have some very clean and dry air running through it. So let me break down for you, after you kind of seen this whole picture here, how I designed it, why I created it, and where it starts at the beginning. So whether you have a shop in the garage at your house, whether you live in suburban living, or you're a farmer, or you basically just like to tinker with equipment, almost everybody has an air compressor. And a lot of times we have a lot of air tools. And what they say about the air tools is you should oil them at all times to basically keep them running. So a lot of guys, like here, like myself, I have a line, jumper line running to this hose reel, and I have 100 foot of hose. At the end of this reel, I'm going to put on an air tool after I put some oil in it and stick it into the tool. What's happening is oil kind of gets caught up and starts to leak and falls back into the line. It's always coming through. If you take this line right as you speak and you stick it in the back of your prime weld plasma cutter or any plasma cutter, or even a paint gun, basically you have the potential for oil and moisture to go through, but mostly oil, go into your unit. And that's no good because it's going to affect your machine. So what I suggest you do, starting at the air compressor, right at the tip here, is to change and have a designated hose going from this air compressor to your cart. So I want to buy a 25-foot hose, could be as long as you want. It's brand spanking new, will never have oil in it, and that's going to be my line from this air compressor right to my cart. And that's the first thing I'm going to wind up doing to make sure that that cart is going to run clean, because now I know that I'm not going to have any oil contamination. The worst contamination I have is moisture. I have another video on how to, because a lot of these carts or these air compressors really have terrible drain cocks to drain. I wound up putting ball valves on mine, so it makes it a lot easier to drain them out. And I suggest you do something like that. But make sure you drain this all times, especially before you run your plasma cutter, and make sure you have no moisture in the line, and that'll save you a little bit of aggravation. But you definitely want to create, like I said, a clean line coming from your air compressor over to your plasma cart. Even if you did not have a plasma cart, the cart that I have with the filters on it, you're still better off running a clean line and have it designated with no oil or contamination that's actually in there. So let's go over to the plasma cart and I'll take you from the next step. So this is your clean line going to the top of the filter. Once it starts going in, we're going to regulate our gauge to about 90 psi here to make sure it's running through our system. It shows us how much air is coming through our compressor. Once we get here, this is a ball valve turnoff that you actually have that comes with the filter itself. And this is a Merlin filter I got from Harbor Freight. So then, this 3-foot jumper cable runs over, like I say, to the motor guard. And then from the motor guard, we have a 5-foot line that runs all the way up here, and we want all the hoses to drape here so moisture and condensation falls in the bottom of the line. And this 5-foot jumper runs itself up, and it's just plugged into the top of the plasma cutter. And then basically, if there's any moisture here, we can take care of the problem. That's it. It's a pretty simple system, and you can take this anywhere you need to go, and you'll be easy to run. But I wanted to show you the complete setup, and this is it. So always keep a designated line coming from your compressor. I think that's probably the safest thing you can do. And there's lots of other applications you can use this for too. I'm just not just doing this for the plasma cutter. If you have a generator, you have this plasma cart, basically an air compressor, you can pretty much run any kind of tool that needs dry, clean air through this because it's a portable mobile system, and it makes things a little bit easier than having a setup where you just have your filters on your wall in your shop. But like I said, this is my system. This is what I kind of do. I'm going to kind of take you through the next step of how I built this and take you through that process for those that want to kind of see how it's done. So what other areas would you need clean air? Well, number one, a plasma cutter obviously is the main reason why I made this video. Second one is laser cleaning. If you have a laser cleaner, they need super dry air, and you need to have a setup like this, and a lot of guys are never set up properly. So I think this is definitely a must-have for anybody using a laser cleaner. If you are a painter and you've got a mobile painting unit and you want to spray paint a car or a trailer or something outside, obviously you don't want to get fish eyes and have water damage or moisture actually affecting your paint. So obviously this was where this cart would shine on that. Sometimes just blowing something with the air, trying to stay dry, a lot of times you get moisture coming through the line and you'll see it come out when you're blowing something off. But if you really want to keep dry air on blowing something, this would be it. And lastly, if you are using laser welding, which is basically a laser cleaner and a welder, I'm going to assume you're going to need real dry air for that setup too. And there's probably a lot of other different things I haven't mentioned, but those are probably the big 5 that come to mind for me of where you need clean, dry air. And a cart system like this that doesn't really take that much time to make, it could be multi-versatile, and it's not like you're just wasting your time because you just do it for the plasma cutter. But this is just a suggestion I wanted to point out to people that there's alternatives, and this is a good, simple alternative that you could utilize. Using this illustration, give yourself a clean line that runs from the air compressor to the Merlin industrial filter. You don't necessarily have to use a Merlin, but you need to get a brand that actually has a pressure regulator to it, so at least you'll have an idea the amount of pressure running to your cart where you can actually have control. Then run a 3-foot jumper to the motor guard M30 filter. The motor guards are highly regarded as a good filter to use, especially in this type of situation. And then run a 5-foot jumper or so to whatever tool that you're going to be using clean, dry air. In this case, we're using a plasma cutter. It could be a laser. It really doesn't matter what type of equipment that you use. So to build this project for both the laser and the Prime Weld 60 plasma cutter, I want to buy an Eastwood MIG plasma cutter style table, and the reason, or a cart. And the reason I bought the cart was because it was designed where it has these big plates that are on the side of there, on the front end, and it's kind of like built to support it. Now this is not a cheap cart, I don't think. It's $200. I mean, I'd rather go to Harbor Freight and buy a cheaper one. But Eastwood has this rail that's already pre-built, so I don't have to really do any modification to it. So that's number one. And number two is, it's an Eastwood cart. It's relatively supposed to be pretty decent. But again, it's a lot more pricey than something I'd get at Harbor Freight. If you got a cheaper cart and you can build and weld or bolt a piece of steel in to take the place of what I'm going to show you today, that might be an option. So the reason why I want this plate here is because we're going to have filters. This is an industrial filter from Harbor Freight, a Merlin. And what it's going to do is basically our initial first trap of catching moisture and oil and any other debris. And it's going to be mounted right here on the side of this cart. So that's goal number one, putting 2 bolts in and mounting it on the cart. On the opposite side, where we also have another plate, we're going to mount a motor guard filter, which is here. And this filter is also going to be our secondary filter for our plasma cutter and for our laser. So this is a good combination together that'll work in our favor to keep our plasma cutter and our laser clean, dry, with no contaminants. And what's also nice with the Merlin, it has a pressure gauge on it, so I might you have a lot less pressure on the prime weld 60 plasma cutter, but for my laser, I need to be between 60 and 90 psi, so I can regulate it here. And this is going to be the industrial air filter is going to be our first initial contact from our air compressor having a clean line going right to this. And that's what's going to start us from bouncing filter to filter. And what we're going to do is we're going to have jumpers jumping from this Merlin filter to the motor guard filter, then a jumper from the motor guard filter to the prime weld plasma cutter or the laser. And that's really the system here, and we're bouncing around. And why I want to have it on a cart is no matter where this cart goes, whether I'm using the laser or I'm using the plasma cutter, we have a good clean system that's set up to go mobile. And that's a very important aspect for me because I have no idea on this farm where I'm necessarily going to be. And the downfall also is that I need to have a generator that will be able to take care of the producing of the 220, or at least the amperage that I need to run either the plasma cutter or the laser. So that's kind of why I want to have a nice system where I know I'm always going to have clean air at all times, and so I have less consumables being wasted, and I'm going to basically have clean air coming out that's not going to damage the lens on my laser. So that's really what we're doing. So let's get to it. And again, the Eastwood is where we're going to do. We're going to drill 2 holes. They're already preset, and we're going to mount this first. So what I did was I made a little jig on a piece of paper just to get my bearings. And I want to drilling 2 holes in. So the plan is that we're going to take 5/16 bolts. They're about 1 inch long. We're going to use fender bolts or fender washers. And we're going to support a fender washer on both sides of this plate because it's really not that thick. And then we're going to follow it up with some nuts. And that'll be the end of that problem. And that'll keep this Merlin tight to the frame of the cart. And that's pretty much it. But we're going to definitely use 2 fender washers on each side. That'll give us enough support that we won't have any issues. So my plan would be 1 fender on one side, 1 on the other, and the bolt. All right, to do the motor guard bracket, you can see I kind of drilled the holes from the inside out. And I put 2 down through the center, and this is a motor guard 30 filter. And they have the Teflon nuts, the 2 fender washers on one side. And when you go around the other side, did the same thing, 2 bolts, or the bolts themselves going through, and the 2 fender washers. Once I tighten that up, then we'll put the motor guard filter on. So as far as the motor guard filter goes, you just have to put some bolts in here and tighten it down. Now the one thing I should have been a little bit lower here. So if you ever make this, because it actually, the screw part here is hitting the top of this bracket. I was going to take the bracket off, but then I'm deciding maybe I'm going to just wrap my plasma cutter around it and I might just leave that sit here. But it's really not in the way, and if I need to adjust this, I just have to loosen the bolts and pull it. But be cognizant of this piece hitting that bracket if you kind of use it with this kind of cart. You know, you don't necessarily have to use an Eastwood cart, but this one fits nice with our plasma cutters. But if you're going to use a bigger unit and you're going to switch them off, like say I wanted to switch that plasma cutter off to the laser, which is a lot bigger, you know, maybe you may want to get a different style cart and maybe fabricate or make a bracket where you can mount these. But this is, Eastwood is perfect for the plasma cutter if that's the only thing you have. I suggest it would fit like my Prime Weld 60. Anything around that size would work out really well. Other than that, the 3-foot jumper cables, which I talked about as far as the hose goes, these aren't expensive. I bought them at Harbor Freight. They're a few dollars, like $4 for a 3-footer, and then maybe $7 or $8 for a 5-footer. And I think 5-foot worked out really good for me. And that's it. There's really not much to it. So there's really not much as far as the mechanics of putting this together. It worked out real well. So there you have it, guys. A real simple system, real easy to do. I kind of really excited about getting this thing running now, and I know that everything works. I tested this out, and I'm going to start using my plasma cutter and playing with that next. But weather's been really terrible this winter. I haven't been able to get out to the shop. Today it's 70 degrees. It's really warm, and we haven't had this kind of weather in a long time, so I'm going to take advantage of it. I wanted to get this video out to you because I think this is a great little system. It works out real well, and I think there's multi-versatile ways to be used. So again, thanks for watching. Any questions, let me know. Take care, and I'll talk to you guys soon.